Welcome to the Introduction to PowerShell series. Today's session, we'll have a look at graphics and workflow of PowerShell. PowerShell and graphics. First, is that possible? We had started off with the command line utility, which is the boring command line screen. And next we had the ISE integrated environment, which is pretty cool. But still, you would not want the end users to run the code by opening the PS1 or just double clicking it. And hence we have the graphics. And yes, PowerShell, since it runs on top of .NET, it has a wonderful way of showing up your executables in the form of good screens or even HTML pages. So we'll start off with the integration with the Windows Forms or Windows Presentation Foundation. So here is a simple code. We'll just have a look at a demo of two simple codes to open up the dialog. So here is one simple code. We'll just open up the ISE, copy paste that. So if you observe the code, the main thing we are doing is we are creating a new instance of windows.window object, and we set the title and the content and the width and height. And we call the show dialog method to open up the window screen. If you have already worked with .NET, Visual Studio .NET Windows Forms, you will find this very similar. So now let's just run this. Sometimes the screen just gets hidden. Let's just search for that. So if you see, this is a simple code where we have the content displayed, hello world, check out PowerShell and Wpf together. As with any Windows form, you can minimize and maximize it. Let's try another simple code where we load assembly. Again, here we are loading the system.windows.forms. And we call the new object and we are setting the text as ABC, and we are instantiating a button. We are going to display the button and we are having the text called click on the button, and once we are not having any event for the button right now. So let's just run this. Wow, just since we do not have any events, nothing happens. So this is a little simple, but it can get complicated when you're working on highly intuitive GUI applications. Please note that it's recommended to work directly with the HTML or WPF if you're having a very high responsive design. But if you want to have a simple UI, this technique would definitely work. Let's move on to the next now. So the next and one of the simplest yet very powerful graphical way of representation is the Out-grid view, which is nothing but a simple grid view of the output displayed. And if you see in PowerShell, most of the commandlets display the output in the form of a table. And this grid view is extremely powerful to view the content in form of a grid view as well as search for a content. And you can even scroll the content. And another way of displaying the graphics is the ConvertTo-HTML file. So let's just go to the demo of both of them to really understand what this is. So we are just going to display the Out-grid view, and look at this. A new window pops up displaying all the processes. This is a simple command where it is displaying the PowerPoint. Since we have one slide open, it is just displaying this. If you have lots of content, let's just get rid of this PowerPoint and run this again. So this is a huge display and displays this in a beautiful way. If you're searching for some, let's just search for PowerShell, and wow, so this is really a cool feature from PowerShell where you can display the content in a grid view. Let's try the next HTML view. So over here, in this command, you use if you observe, you get process, and then, so we will call the ConvertTo-HTML function. Let's just run this command. If you see, what this command does is, we are calling the ConvertTo-HTML and we are passing the parameter property to select only name and path columns from the getProcess command. Then we are setting some details like the title and the body section of the HTML. Finally, we pipe it to the set content and we store it in cdemo html data.html. Let's just try to open up this file. Let's see where the file is. Just give a search for star.html. So now if you open up this file, and cool, so see, we set the title as process details and the content is displayed in HTML format. You even have the option to set the CSS and you can just design a cool HTML using the simple yet powerful ConvertTo-HTML command. So sometimes you would be developing the application in Visual Studio and you would want to convert that to the PowerShell script. So rather than writing the huge code in PowerShell, this technique would help. So here are the few steps. You create a new Wpf application. You add a few controls from the toolbox and you will have a XAML code generated. All you have to do is open up the code, remove all the X colon, all those strings, and remove all this XML and SD and this content showed here. And you would have to write two simple scripts in PowerShell and call the load dialog and XAML, and you just have a look at the demo to understand this. Create a new WPF project in Visual Studio. Let's rename this as PowerShell WPF. Okay. Click OK. And let's wait. To keep things simple, let's just drag and drop a button and a label. And a label. Oh. And once those are added, you will see so if you see the XAML file, you have a set of code. Let's just copy that and open your ISE and paste it. Here what you would need to do is remove all these X followed by colon. You need to just remove all that. Control H. We just replace that with nothing. Okay, and after that, remove everything other than the presentation, XAML, and the title. Other than this, everything else you can remove. So this is the result of how the XAML would look like. And you save the XAML in the folder where you're working. Let's save it as simple.xaml. And this is the PowerShell GUI code where we load the load dialog.ps1 at the XAML part. And then we write the code to add the button click welcome to GUI. This is the PowerShell code which loads all the assemblies. And now let's just run this set of code. And wow, when I click this, welcome to GUI. So as a quick recap, we saw how to call the GUI Windows Presentation Foundation from PowerShell. We saw convert to HTML as well as Out-GridView. Thank you.